Well, that's a fun little start. I'm actually surprised they got to alarm level so quick. Well, I had some really bad network this morning. Looks like it might not be over. I guess it would have been a bad day to test the latency stuff on the assumption that it would continue. And pants taken. Thank you for the host. Alright, music is off. Oh dear. Well, that's an interesting little test of how low latency responds to dropped frames. I didn't quite want to push it that hard. looking at my preview, I would say buffer might be staying lower, but I'm still building up a huge latency. No, the buffer's getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, so it still responds with buffer, just maybe it defaults to less? Huh. Yeah, if this keeps up, I'm going to have to try stopping stream to switch off low latency, see if... Well, no, I'm going through restream. That shouldn't matter. Their connection to Twitch is fine. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Did I miss anything else? No. Alright, too many windows. Anyway, we got this thing. I got it sized to this. We got a highlight for the current state. Things I had in... And now the alarm is going off, so this isn't going to be live anymore. But things we had in the web-based one, and I'm going to have to... Well, we can probably reset it. Is that if we mess with stuff... We get this to change color, saying, hey, this thing is currently in an alarming state. We've got some sort of timing indicator about when an alarm is going to go off. And then I've got like a bigger backdrop thing to make it easier to spot that the entire thing is in an alarm state. So we need to... Well, we've already, that's essentially mirroring this if it's active. So since we're not actually using this, oh, I actually got that color already. Cool. Oh, and I have no timer at all. So I can get the color when we're active, and then we'll see about having to transfer that to the status time. Speedrun is spliced? I don't know about speedrun. That actually reminds me, I should get that up. Just in case there's any actual activity on the YouTube front. Alright, well, let me, I'm gonna reset my, oh, it's fun. Reset my preview window just so I can see how the low latency is doing, hopefully if there's not actual issues going on. Oh, yep, I'm actually usually monitoring it via an application called Chatty, which has some additional Twitch features. I have found that it doesn't handle some of the newer Twitch stuff, like raids. So I still do have to have the other chat open to notice some of those things. Also, well, also in Muxy doesn't always recognize them. But then again, I might have to switch something else anyway, because Muxy seems to be Twitch only. So if I have any actual YouTube activity, then I would need something that could recognize that stuff. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot with Chatty. It's mostly for, like, it has a viewer graph, and you can have presets for setting streams along with the communities and stuff. Oh, and actually the main thing I got it for was that originally recommended me is that if there's been no chat activity for a while, and it's configurable, but it'll ding at me to make sure I'm actually looking at the chat if things are happening all of a sudden. Anyway. Well, it does also have the automatic list of named users in chat. You know, half of them are bots, but... Anyway, how are you doing today? Hey, script mic check. So this would be, we've already got the tab color, this would be the background color. Mm, not dead, shockingly. What have you been doing? Mm. Oh, I need to be looking at the global rule state, which is going to be check alarm. Ah, okay. That's fine. Well, actually, the conflict I have is that I've got a little, like, once a month social event, kind of this afternoon, evening, and I can maybe do a little bit, but I was also just thinking about going hanging out there for a little while. Uh, yeah. Before I got as heavily into streaming, I signed up to a hackerspace or makerspace as much more of a co-working environment, but now it's like public spaces don't work well for streaming, so it's kind of like But they have like a once a month social thing. So there's a lot of cool people, and they're like talking about projects and stuff. So it's still kind of an interesting place to hang out. Now, technically, that's kind of an open house. So I mean, I could still go to those if that's really all I'm doing. So this ultimately comes down to run rule. Hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of hugging in that crowd. I know that like my group in college was very open to hugs and stuff. But I'm usually very reserved with people I don't know how they feel about that. And since I don't hang out there very much, I'm not particularly close to anyone there. All right, so we're gonna be doing this in every single item anyway. Hmm. Yeah. For whatever reason it has tended to be a little bit more, I don't know if acceptable or expected for females to be huggy, and that was, there was a number in our college clubs, so maybe that was kind of the driver of that stuff set up. Oh, so I'm returning height. Okay, we already got violation. So it's like I could save myself. This might be like sort of a premature optimization thing, but the event or this program? Oh, I'm just doing height plus status item. So what? Well, maybe you missed the little demonstration. Well, I mean, this actually shows it sort of, although I don't have an alarm hooked up right now. So periodically, and there go the dropped frames again. Yep, and I see the buffer going up on that, which is actually something I implemented in the other one when I was working on the first version of this. So periodically, I will either find that I've muted myself when I'm supposed to be live, either forget to turn it on or the click didn't quite take, or I will put up some sort of screen. And you can add delay in OBS. I don't know about buffering. Or I put up BRB and leave the mic live, which, I mean, that actually shouldn't be too big a problem for me, but like, my bathroom was like right across the hall, so that might be some stuff people don't want to hear. But yeah, if frames get dropped, then Twitch will add more buffer to try and allow for that in the future, so that it doesn't actually disrupt things. But I mean, the frames are dropped, so it's like, I don't know if the buffering's really going to help that. And I guess maybe if they think if frames aren't arriving, the frames have been delayed, so they want to delay so they have the chance to receive them. But yeah, I'm just having a bad internet day, which is a shame because it's been going really good for a while. I thought maybe the other adapter had done something. Now, that, it could be different every time, but I'm pretty sure it's me. Or my ISP. Because I have in the past run through OBS's entire drop frame guide, and, I mean, the causes could change. But, like, the DSL reports speed test gives you a lot of stats on, like, buffer bloat, and I usually show troubling amounts of retransmits, and I don't know if it actually escalated to drop frames. TCP retry kind of did it. For streaming, it doesn't work out so good. Ah, cool. But yeah, I'm having a better internet day again. So, yeah, I could try dropping resolution and bitrate. I think, yeah, it's not even going to be that long of a stream, but I might actually have to do that because this has been pretty severe. Now, the problem is I'm working on text. So if I went as low as I needed to, it might not be pretty. Let's run some numbers here. Scripts. So if we think we have to hit 500 bitrate, I'm probably actually not going to need... What am I targeting? Resolution. Probably not going to need... This isn't high motion, so I could probably get away with lower resolution there. And I'm already at 10, and I tried 5, and people said it was kind of disturbing. I am using GPU for encoding. This is... Dropped frames is specifically network. So rendering lag and coding lag, fine. Nothing. No dropped frames. This is all network. So 540 is not great, but it might still be readable. Alright, I'm actually probably going to have to reset my own view. Oh, did I just hit play as it stopped? Vent, show video stats. Okay. Or do you mean the resolution is not good? Here, let me, preview scaling output. Well, I mean, the editor's visible. The browser text is not so much. I mean, that would reduce motion. But I'm not really seeing any difference in the outgoing bitrate. Typically, I think what happens is it ends up causing more encoding artifacts. I don't know. So that would be, well, it's simple, so I'm not actually sure what it's set up as, and I can't edit a whole lot of stuff while I'm going. We could look at this one, which I haven't really configured anything. So yeah, this doesn't give me a whole lot of options. And actually, this would be what I'm actually set on. So rate control. I usually see CBR as what they recommend, which is what we're on. All right, anyway. So now we've got multiple return items from this, so we're going to have to do item height. Oh, you think it's me, that constant bit rate is putting out more bits than it needs to. Yeah. Well, I mean, there is some encoding. Like when I have a black background, I definitely see the bitrate fall. That might be well. I could probably do some like kind of offline test streams of that sometime. Height plus item height, and we're gonna have to do. Well, no, there is a test mode you can do on Twitch, and I'm not sure about Restream, where I know for Twitch it's you just go to the stream key and you append what's essentially an HTTP or a parameter to it, or URL parameter. All right, so we need to track local. Oh, no, I can't do it from here. Yep, no, I already saved this. Well, I don't remember offhand if Restream has a test mode. I think they might. Where essentially you test your output, but it doesn't actually display anything. Well, I know that OBS has. Oh, Restream causes audio issues. Okay. That's something I haven't. I check in on my streams every once in a while. I don't know if I've been doing too much lately. I mean, OBS does have the actually you can see it here. And I've run across an article that said you want your voice in the yellow range, and then like desktop and other stuff kind of down in the green where it's going to be background, and nothing in the red. Which actually, I'm actually started hitting a little bit. I wonder, did Windows reset my audio range again? Because I was plugging and unplugging things all at bunch. No, that's still a little bit down. Okay, that's actually trivial, though. Yeah, it's good. Unfortunately, we need to know this when we draw the background. Although eventually, this will get... You know what? I should probably do the timer first. Because eventually this is going to get driven by something else. Ah, okay. Yeah, having somebody else there who's actually, watching the stream with audio is probably kind of handy for getting those feedback issues. So what I need to do when I check alarm, right now I'm going into trigger alarm. So this is, there is a timeout here, but I'm not using the timeout. Actually, am I passing that? I'm not passing a timeout. Thanks, Lua. And where am I storing that? Timeout is in the rule. And then trigger alarm. Oh! I sort of implemented it already. Okay. And this is probably going to crash because it just seems to be a little bit time dependent. Hey, it didn't crash. Yay. Alright, so now we should actually see a 5-second delay. Well, that's that warning. And I don't have an alarm set up for this one. So... Alright. Okay, first of all, test fire that. Make sure it's all working. Okay, that's about the right time. I think I mean, there's a 1-second variation on the timer going off, so that's about right. And actually, we could probably hijack set alarm. Oh, we've already got an alarm active flag. How about that? That's the filter. Alright, so background. You know what? That was fixing timeout, which I think was a separate note. Oh, status timer. No, that's displaying it. Okay. Well, still, I should get into better practice of documenting these things. Pass timeout to alarm. Trigger check. Alright, so video render. Alright, so that's our basic background. If it's active, let's try that. Well, it's either going to be a red in that range. I don't remember if I did 440s or it's only going to make it. Well, that's actually going to be a light red. We probably want there. And then, so that will actually give me my feedback. So let's not have beeps going off. And then, oh, and destructively phased. Thank you for the host. Oh, I can turn my preview back off. Get this a little bit out of the way. Okay, cool. And then we trigger you. Well, I'm not set up to annoy this one as easily. Well, actually, I should just look at the... Because that seems a little bit too dark. That would be a view thing. I don't remember... No. Oh, this would actually be CSS. Do we have to give a CSS file? Yeah. Actually, this is going to be a background color. White button. Application. Oh, I'm in the dark theme anyway. Application alarms. A44. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Yeah, that's about what I'm familiar with from the other application. Diff. Oh, I have a point for this in the notes. No, actually, I don't. Okay. Red background in alarm state. So what I actually have is alarm status timer. Which I guess can just kind of be a box. So yeah, video render, we're going to want to, okay, we got background. We've got data.height equals height equals 0. So this is going to be moved up a bit. Matrix push, translate margin. Yes, we're still going to have margin. Oh, actually, okay, that was, yeah, that was ahead of everything. So we've got status item draws us a box. Da, 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 da. We could go ahead, yeah, if we just skip a space, and actually we could have height equals 0, height equals status font size. Go ahead and do this in and then we want to actually put a timer back so we can watch it progressing. But this is going to be not status width. Well, status width times. Oh, will that actually make it negative at 0? Well, no, it's this entire thing times a fraction. But for that, I guess what I should do is actually record we have a trigger time. Why do we have a trigger time? Oh, that's to start off the process. Okay. Oh, so if trigger is active, then we have this essentially. So this is going to be a conditional render. And local width equals, so this is diff time. Oh, but I need to record the active timeout period. Trigger time, trigger timeout. This might get a little bit weird. Yeah, because we're only considering the active source at any given time. Although if that changes while live, it could get kind of wonky. Well, we still have to set this to this. We might need to... Oops. Continually reset it in case our target timeout changes. So then we have something that we can, use to set the scale for this. So that's the time. We're going to divide that by trigger timeout. You know what? Let's rename this to be more like a progress. Oh, I've not actually. Yeah, okay. So it's sort of, and we need to cap it. So that affected my height, but I need to actually. do a translation by that so it appears in the right place. And we need to it's probably gonna be like a math dot actually this is a math dot min. So that looked like it got to full before we actually, well, because it doesn't happen until the timer comes around. Okay. But otherwise, that seems to be... Is this only being updated once a second? Oh, or maybe OS time only has second resolution? Could be. Ooh. I just saw a little bit of buffering on my end. Even though I wasn't dropping any frames. Well, I mean, I've got all kinds of network issues today, so... Yeah, I saw bandwidth drop a little bit there. So, well, I can't do low latency to myself. What other people are saying, I don't know. Anyway. So that gives us a little timer. I should probably have... So right now, in my status item, I'm doing that plus text. So that could be a place to put the... What am I putting there? It was the... Yeah, the duration of the event. Oh! Right now I'm only doing... Well, no, that would be a single label. And I would just have to set up something to update the text property with the current time. Which I could... I don't know if that will work in video render. I might actually have to do that in the check timeout stuff. But that... Will that necessarily have access to my labels? It's not a countdown. I guess it's a... Count up? I don't know. Oh. Because I think this is used for the label name and the text, because that's all I was doing before. And then create label. I need to... No, that's a... Right, because I'm creating them on demand. I think I have to write a function that gets the data and then updates the settings text. Update label text. Equals function, and now here's where we need the OBS API, because I'm going to need to go into source stuff. Source create private, source defaults, source update is what we need to write it back. Source get settings. You know what? I called it source there. I should probably just do it here. And then at the end, we're going to have to do in obs.obs source release, I presume. No. OBS data, or actually, does this? Yeah, OBS data release. Settings. Actually, this isn't too bad. It's still a little bit annoying. Settings, text. Yeah, I was just name before. Sure. Not status item. Did I pass the function? No. Trigger active. Okay, draw the background. Set. Is it not set? Update label text. If that was my first reaction. Data count up. No, data dot labels. And we need to take anything better right now. Now I could just do concatenate into a string. I think they said this was roughly 5.2. Automatic conversion. Numbers used. Well, yeah. But we probably should be a little bit more explicit about that. I think it's D. And then it's just source video render. We'll see if that actually works. Yep, everything in the labels object is automatically cleaned up at the end. Oop. Oh, right, because we're just kind of in alarm state. Or did that not reload because of an error? Okay, there's stuff. Did you kind of do, sir? Oh, oh yeah, that's spamming errors at me. Attempt to perform arithmetic on local time, a nil value. 741. Thanks, Lua. Okay, it is not updating the text. Also, I need to set my color. Oh, that's my text color. Do I have to do something? Oh, I have to call update, that's right. Source update. I'm assuming argument order here. Yes, okay. Yay! Feels like I might be lagging a little bit. But I mean, it's giving the essence of time of event. Oh, and it doesn't even display. Oh, yep, there's definitely a little bit of lag there. Which to fix, I would have to essentially update it when it's not active, which is just like extra work. All right. No, this is back to... Did I close? No, I just skipped it. Add alarm event. Progress bar and duration. That's kind of the word I want. All right, everything still seems to be working. All right, and the other thing we wanted to do is we wanted to, and this actually ended up being really gnarly in the other version. Oh man, I'm still having download issues apparently. Actually, let me check on something. Okay, so yeah, there have been some drops on my end. Okay, yeah, bitrate dropped when I had to cut things down. I'm not seeing any like buffering from Restream to Twitch. So I presume it's just me. Also, Chatty thinks I'm offline for some reason. Maybe because I was offline so quick? I don't know. Alright, de-emphasized source is not in current scene. So that's partly coloring. So like, I think that's the title bar. So like with this, I've got a secondary scene with some different layers. So these are kind of, it's really just that the name in the backdrop. And then I also sort it so that all my active layers are... default always goes to the bottom. Maybe it should be more with the active sources. Also, we have had dropped frames, so that thing's not actually working. There we go. Now it has time. Time's... Well, this might be big project. We'll see. So... Oh, I have no concept of this right now. This has a different API where I'm able to get the sources directly. So I have no concept of scenes right now. We know which sources are... Yeah, because in this, we can know if a source is active, because in the other scene, it's not active. Although I kind of need to add my status monitor to these to keep tracking that. Yeah, so nothing's mad. It's only when we go here... Oh, how's my microphone? Oh, I don't even have the microphone here. But we could use this as a quick stand-in. Because that should make it... Oh no, that's a global thing. Okay. Yep. Oh. So the documentation said if it's visible in any scene, and that's only cares about that one. So that's not so good. Oh, because it off is muted, so that kind of... That's alarm if muted. Okay, yeah. I mean, the muted state... Okay, the source exists, muted state. But I feel specifically misled about these sources. Okay, it's affecting... Oh, okay, so this is a combination of a couple things going on. That's causing an alarm there. Not okay. So that was just a combination of different events going on. So it does count as hidden when it's not on this. Yeah, so that takes care of these things. But to know if a source is even relevant for user feedback, I have to know if it's in the current scene. Okay, set alarm visible. Find scene with a given name. Oh, do I get an activate? Hmm. Because sources, from what I can tell, sources are kind of global. And then scene items attach them to particular scenes, which is why you can add references to existing ones. So to know if it's in a visible scene, we actually need the scene API. Okay, this says get current scene, which is actually a source. We get a scene object from that. Item visible. I don't think that's going to help. And scene changes are going to be a top level thing, I presume. And this goes the other way. Scene from source. Ooh. Is there a script version for that? Scene item get source. Core API reference. Signals. Source, source, source. Really? Oh, is that a front end thing? What does OBS WebSockets use? Is it data? No, it's going to be events. Switch scenes. No. Nope, 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 nope. OBS front-end event scene changed. So this is kind of undocumented API. Front-end add event callback. Oh. Oh. I typoed something, I guess. Okay. Now, the question is, will this work with scripting? Because there are specific, differences. Enum sources, scene enum items seen. Can we actually use front-end add event callback? That's going to tell us the type of the function. And OBS front end add event callback. Okay, nothing crashed. It's actually been surprisingly uncrashy today. Oh. Oh. Now the question is, what do we get back? So it is an event and the private data that we passed. Oh. Which I'm sure that it passes nil, but we're not passing any data to it. Properly speaking, it expects that signature. That's probably just going to be a number right now. Oh. But if we don't get useful data... Oh, okay, so first of all, that was the incorrect syntax for that. I'm still surprised that didn't cause other issues, but... Oh. So is this because it doesn't like the signature? Change too many things at once. Oh, and we found the deadlock. I was actually surprised it happened so little today. Nope. So actually, I guess passing the private nil for the private data. Did I get the argument order wrong here? Event private data. Callback private data. This has to do with how it got mapped to Lua. Alright, I wasn't sure that. Yeah, I didn't have clicked on it. Okay, so that seems to have been that issue. Okay, now these are numbers, but those should be exposed in the OBS namespace. So we are interested in... actually, let's just... just curious offhand what we're getting here. Takes a little while to dump all this out. So we want OBS, probably front end. Yeah, front end event. So we're getting 8. Scene changed and event transition stopped. Okay, so scene changed is really what we're going to be interested in. And then somewhere... Okay, there's the nice list. And we need to have an actual callback function. So we had source activate, source mute, source destroy. Oh, interesting. I was doing a different style here, apparently. Front end event. Script load. Front end event. Okay, cool. Front end event. If event equals obs.obs front end event scene changed, then run my thoughts together. So I guess the easiest thing to do So in this interface, you have to add or remove something from our management. You kind of have to be in the active scene. So I don't think that it will matter much if stuff gets changed behind the scenes, because you can really only do things within the active scene. So what we care about is, well, I mean, audio sources that aren't in the current scene are effectively muted. What are we putting in here? Info. They're basically the same right now. So we could potentially have some sort of, our initial enumeration might not. No, we can get the current scene. And so essentially, yeah. So when that occurs, now this is changed past tense. So if I have something which enumerates the sources in the current scene and updates all of the visibility or the in current scene flags, then I can go through and, you know what, I've already got a thing that's doing global updates, although maybe I shouldn't. So that could get the current scene. And I would just say, you know, if the scene changed, then we go through and examine sources, and then everything's all good, right? Oh, examine source states. Yeah. Do I ever reset this? Unless the source states. That could leave us in last known state. We wouldn't have root. We could. Yeah, I did just take a drink. Alright, so I might need to do something with resetting these. But examine source states. Yes, that's getting the info regardless. So current source, current scene will probably have something like this. Current scene. Current source, get the scene. And we'll need to release. And we're done with it at this point. And then this is what we might need to do on a per instance basis. Current scene, that was just text. So actually this would essentially be name. We could see if there's a better way to do that. I don't know if there is, because I'm not recording any other information about it. Oh no, this is still front end stuff. Core scripting. We need the scenes API. By ID. I haven't done anything with IDs yet. And is that a scene item ID or is it a source ID? Probably a scene item ID that would be unique. Yep. So if it's not equal to nil, local in current. You know, we could just do this as what did I do with that in the other app? Oh, because I had the current scene. It does have a background color. Connect, disconnect. Looks like missing from the current scene. This is a little bit more explicit now. I had someplace else that I was doing one of these, I thought. Audio sources. Bootstrap rule settings. So this is saying we knew this thing existed. I guess we have to bootstrap this to false. And then front end event. We do examine source states. It's not going to cause us any trouble, is it? Oh. Typos will. Okay. And then status item. Oh. We're given a title and a rule. Audio sources. Are we already using video sources anywhere in here? Check alarm. This is rule.name. Are we doing anything else with source here? Oh no, this is source def video render, so we don't actually use this in the scene item. Interesting. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab that. Now I could potentially need new different colors for everything. Well, I was only doing the text. So where's our background bar? Okay, if it's not controlling, else if, source not equal to nil, and source dot in current scene. So since it's white text, we would actually want to lighten this up. Which might not translate well. Oh, that wouldn't be true of default. Yeah, that actually seems to highlight it. It would work if the text was also darker. But that is comparable to what we do here. We background the entire thing and fade out the source. So I guess I need to have additional colors for those sources, which is annoying. Now, that does change a lot less frequently than, well, it's determined less frequently. But I was not successful in dynamically changing the color of the text. And that might be some sort of like rendering order timing thing. So I only did slightly lighter with the other one, which might help. Maybe I also had a darker background on that. Oh, I had no box highlight on the old one. That's actually surprisingly visible. Okay, so slight there, and I guess I'm going to have to make dark text versions, and then I'm also going to have to make it so it doesn't affect default. Oh wait, just no, it's default is not a video source. How about if source, well, except for default, if it doesn't exist, that would be kind of true. This is actually title. Oh no, this is an OR on a grouped condition. Okay, that's fine. But these are all octavine there, so you can actually see the default. All right, so we are starting to identify things in scenes, and this color text is going to be a pain in the butt. Identify sources in a current scene. All right, so data.labels, text white. Data.labels title. I think this is the only place we render that. So actually what we could do is determine the color. And actually we can go ahead and reduce this. Local in current scene equals so that we have that available. If in current scene, then do we have a color anywhere already? That's in the for loop. If not in current scene, and color equals, and I never know if it's gray or gray. Oh, but we actually have to create different things depending on the color. So I can't just pass that through and create things. It actually has to... No, wait a minute. No, because text white is technically a number. Now, Lua will just convert that into a string if we concatenate it. So we have to have like color name and color value. I could probably actually figure this out from the other one. Missing, yeah, color 888, background, actually that's 555? I must have had a darker background, maybe? Item. So we actually need, all right, so change all of those. I should almost have a variable for that. Um, what if we just did heading equals, and then we could do this as heading. All right, and that will actually show up in here. Script is still buried. Create dash white, dash white. Oh, because it's a label. Create label. Yeah. Whale? How was I doing that before? Because the source has to have a name, and it has text. I created data labels. Oh, nope. It was fine. So actually, it's not as much heading, because the label is still title, title. Oh. Data labels, yeah. And we go down to here. Okay, it's a little bit too faded. We had a darker... Must be a darker overall backdrop in the other app. Right, because I didn't even have a box for sources, so that kind of affected all my brightness levels. Okay, that sort of works. Now, what I was also doing was sorting these. De-emphasize text color for sources not in current scene. Which let's see what happens if we start adding some more. So typically, alarm if live. Well, that source doesn't even exist here. Okay, so now I have two disabled things that are above my active. Yeah. Now we're here. So I can video render, it's the source. So we iterate through, we go through all the source rules. Okay, we explicitly draw a default, that's fine. So the easiest way to do this is just going to be to do it twice. Unfortunately. And rule.name. If source and source.active and source.in current scene and source and not source.in current scene, there we go. Oh, that's only doing the that's the found first active. And then this is the call. So we need source regardless. But this is also checking that rule.name exists. That's probably a good condition. Found first active. So we need this regardless. The trailing gets reset on every pass. We still need to be doing that all the time. And we have to say if source and source dot in current scene and then if not source or not, well, not the exact previous condition. Okay, that's a bit more reasonable. And then those will reshuffle based on the stuff that's in the current scene. Okay. Oh, and then it's not currently portable because we're not using, we're using GDI Plus. That could be a pretty deep problem, though. And I guess now that we've got something that's sort of working, I could try doing a little bit of stuff on a OS X machine to see if I can get FreeType to work there. Sort, display, sources in current scene first. All right, so that is the things I think I can reasonably accomplish this morning. I'm planning to be out this afternoon. So unfortunately no gaming today. Alright, so I don't think I got anything there. Thanks. Thanks to Destructively Phased, Joey Chef Ray P, Deadly Tacos, Ocerat Gaming, NGLG, ZZ, Catnox, Sturmius, Leopard, SES Dev, and Pants Taken for hosting me. I know, at least with my connection, I'm getting terrible latency on this thing. I haven't really watched latency in the normal mode, but I'm definitely want to turn off low latency sometime and try how that's working. Also adding better internet days. Oh! I forgot the Neural Slicers pre-alpha is starting up already. Okay. So I guess we'll go into them and kind of get an idea what's going on. I wasn't watching that as a timed event. But yeah, I'll probably be playing that some a little bit over the weekend. So yeah, fairly cool game in development. We'll see how it develops, but is that dropped frames? I don't know. Definitely some trouble right now. I think trying to load that stream is not doing good things for me. Oh, yeah, I wasn't seeing my preview because it's delayed. So yeah, not happy with loading the stream. Anyway, Stream Harvest Games, I'll be up the afternoon. Bye.